man with heat. That house up there is a haunted house. You see it? Yeah, man. The house is a haunted house.
Hey, so we're back for another episode. I'm sure you must have gone through and seen the previous episode we've done before. Behind me, Philibert, alias Osiris. As you may know if you've watched the previous video, that was his real birth name. So we're going to touch some subjects today of interest, and let's get to it and let's see what Philibert has to say today. So, the man himself.
Greetings, man. Yesence. Thankfulness. Glory be to the word and glory be to the song. How good and pleasant it is for I and I again to dwell together in love and unity. It is like a precious ointment that is thrown upon I and I locks, that even I and I locks run through to the skirts of I and I garment. Give thanks, my hygiene. Yes, the hygiene. So how is the Iowa? And what is the Iowa about in this time? Yeah?
So, Philibert, so today we'll have another, question for you. So, we're located right now in Sion Hill, and in Sion Hill, it's a very vibrant area. It's classified as in the city. You hear a lot of music. There's a lot of culture around here. But at the very top of Sion Hill, there's an ex-slave master's house.
Oh.
And the house seems like it's been here longer than any other house.
Yeah. You're talking about the house on the hill. Right, yes, the Baha'i Center.
Yeah.
Right.
So can you explain some history about this slave master house, and what is the history behind it?
Yes, man. Yeah, Haila. Glory be to the word and the song. You see the house up there? That's the house on the hill. They call it the Baha'i Center. The Baha'i religion people is who bought the house over, from a previous owner who bought the house. It are various people who buy the house and sell it. The house was just like bought and sold. You see? Why the house is being bought and sold? You see the house up there? The house was owned by a lord of England. You know, see, named Mr. Richmond Chance. You see, and that's why they call up on top up there Richmond Hill. He was the plantation owner of that particular district. And like in nation, when nation conquering another land, from nations conquering another land, they normally take the best of the bounty and give it to the Lord. You see it? So after the takeover up that section hill, after the great story with Chataway, and they take over that side of the hill up so, they give that bounty to the Lord there, so he was a childless owner. You see it? But you see that Lord Gray, that Mr. Lord there, so him name Mr. Lord Richmond. You see it? Richmond Chance. Chance was the name. That's how we call this area here around here Chance. Because he left them land here for the church. You see it? For the Church of England. You see it? So him now was Mr. Lord now. He was like the Lord of the other plantation owner around. He was like the grand Lord now. Mr. Lad up there, so, who did own the house there, we call in the Baha'i Center. You see it? He was like the, you know, and it is him now who actually had a lodge up there on top the hill up there where the church is. He actually had a British lodge up there. You see it? You know, and that was the first British lodge, sacred school. You see? He used to have one up on top the hill there, right there. When they moved that, he gave the land to the church, the Anglican. Moved that and put a church there. The said building that they had, they put a church in there, which was the Anglican church, because it was given to the church. That land was handed forward to the church. You know, since all that surrounding land up there is the Anglican church who did possess the land and sell them lands there out.
Right.
But them land there, because him didn't have no generation. Him didn't have like a genealogy of generation. Because what? It's Britain. We send he here to do that. And what really going on with he? That house up there is a haunted house. You see it? Yeah, man. The house is a haunted house. You know, the amount of owners, we own the house and let her go. Try all kind of thing in the house there, in the yard. They try dance hall, try this. They try do all kind of thing. The last set of people we own that is the Baha'i. People will come and buy that and try for some kind of religious center. But for how long? Nothing never hold up there. Nothing can hold up there. You know, them house they dark, Virgin.
So you know when you said the house is haunted, what's the stories about the house? Is there any stories that people know of this house?
Well, all people know say have them house as we come up as youth. Is them house they haunted? You hear grumbling and mumbling in them house there inconveniently all the time. So as youth coming up, you hear them story there, you gotta keep away from there. And when you pass in there, you just run past like if a bullet. Just let off there. You see?
Yeah.
So that is how we know them house there. Them house there is old plantation owner.
Yes.
And them house they now like possess. You know see that house they just there so. Nobody not even lick that down, build something on that spot. The house just there. Teams are own that and sell that quick. Yeah, me I tell you say, you know. So Mr. Lord, you know.
So I went and saw the house earlier today. I realized at the back you have this, it looks like a shed or a backyard, like a house. I don't know if they had slaves in there or...
I know. It look like all kind of murdering and slaves used to go on around them area there. Cause Mr. Grenadines did own Mr. Chance there, so they own the plantation around the whole of Richmond Hill, yeah. That's why it named Richmond Hill. All wrong border with Sion Hill. You see? And them land they would have been bounty the capital wouldn't have been in this side yet. When he would have there as a plantation, the capital would have been out in Georgetown side.
Right, okay.
You see?
Yeah.
It's from the 1812. from 1812 come onward now. You see it? They bring the capital from that side. You know? You see, and after the 1812 devastation of the volcano in that side, they brought the people forward. You see, so the tongue, when he had up there as a plantation, he overwatching both sides. You see how the view spontaneous.
Yeah.
Yeah, me say. But the house there, yeah man, that's a haunted house. Me not afraid to tell you. Me don't know what them doing it and who them murder and etc. But me can't even say that.
Yeah.
But me know say the house is a possessed house from ever.
Do you have an idea of how many slaves were under control from them masters that lived in the house? Was it the whole community, or was there a number, or maybe an idea?
Well, Brethren, remember the British brought in the slaves and them, you know, them brought in like 50,000 slaves. Something like that. With them brought in, you know.
So these
after them hold the indigenous people. And yeah, so you know. One of the first things them try to do is kill all of them, you know. Carry them on a place out there called Baliso. And Baliso. You see, and put them on an island with no water, with access to nothing, food, nothing, and leave them there to die off. Why you think they do that, brethren? They do that because they know the genes of the ancestors is with them people there. So the first thing the British try to do is kill off the original genes from the land here. So any amount of people them capture, them try ship them out and bring in their own kind of people.
So the Gafunas?
Yeah, they bring in Scottish, they bring in slaves from Barbados, we call them Bajans, you know?
Yeah.
They bring in indentured servants. As the time count down, as the 18th century expand, you know, because the 18th century did spell liberation, you know, for plenty areas and all. So as the expansion of that go on and on and on, may I join. You know, say, I people in them land here, so they try to eliminate all the indigenous people them catch. That's why you see the indigenous people and them have to run now and go in far villages. Way off at the bunks where they can't find and can't reach. And if them could have reached them village there, they would have stopped you in your tracks from even penetrating them village there. So these outer range villages had to protect some of the indigenous stocks that I had. Otherwise the British would have wipe off all of them, you know. And the rest of them, they would have carried them and shipped them out to a place called Rotan, you know, Rotan Island somewhere in Belize and Honduras. You know why? Because in Belize and Honduras, you have a people called the Maya people, which is originally African descendant, originally African people, yeah? And I was descendants from them same people there.
Okay.
So what they do? They send you forward to your original people them. You know, in Belize and Honduras and them place there. Them is your original people, you know. Them is the original people who did own South America and developed South America, all the architecture and buildings, stone artistry, and all them things that you see in them land there. It come from the Maya. Yeah, the Maya people who developed the Aztec people, you know, which was Indians, you know, see, coming all the way from India. You have to know them things there, you know, yeah? You see, them lands here at the time was called the Lesser Antilles, and the bigger islands were called the Greater Antilles. So when we talk about the land called Atlantis, it would have been them islands here. We're calling the Atlantans Islands. You understand?
Yeah.
Which involve Haiti as well. Which involve Cuba as well. Which involve Guyana as well. Them people that you find there now is with the Spanish when them come, put in them land and trace the Africans and them to Hispaniola. You know, this is where they move slaves and carry them, you know. You overs, slaves from all them areas here had to go into Hispaniola, which is Haiti today. You understand? Because these islands had a connection with trade and other things. So all these islands were Antillean, were Greater Antilles, and the smaller islands were Lesser Antilles. So the Antillians, you know, and you know, the great civilization of Atlantis, as you go forward to one of the great civilizations, it was an island. It wasn't like one continent, you know, it was an island situation. It was a situation that was set in different islands. So how I and I know that the Greater Antillean Islands was built by these Antillians and Attilian people. You know? You know the first group of Rastafarians that came not from Jamaica but from Chicago, that write the book called The Holy People, the first black man Bible, that give honor to His Imperial Majesty and her Imperial Majesty as the divine head, you know, the divine Alpha and Omega of our time. You understand? This man, in that Greater Antillean and the Lesser Antillean version of the story, I mean, these places was developed by the same Almec Maya people. You understand? These people were shipbuilders, and they had great knowledge of the ocean, and they had great knowledge of the heavens as well. So not only that they build ships that sail on the ocean, they build ships that sail in the air too. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, man, of them things, me I have to tell you. You know what I'm saying? So the greater Antillean islands, we're calling the continent of Atlantis. Is a series of islands. Yeah, man. A series of islands that make up the greater Antillean islands. And as these islands was dominated by the British and by by French and the Spanish, they forced the people out of one place into another space, brethren. So we had in our island here, we had a lot of, you know, indentured servants and a lot of slaves that was brought in. But the original, you know, homestead, homegrown native people, they try to weed them out. You know, why you think they're going on weeding out? Because they know, say, the genealogy of the great man and them, Chatway and all them man there, would have been in the people them. You understand? They do that in Barbados too. You know what I'm saying? They try to weed out the slaves them when they see certain great genealogy amongst them. They try move them there out. They say, yo, move them there out from here and bring in more of the softer train set. You understand? So they had slaves moving all from Barbados and them place, they and go on to Jamaica, shipping them to Jamaica. Because if they find these slaves, right, in any form of rebellion, you know, they would have shipped them out. You understand? And I could tell you about a rebellion that went on in Barbados with the Cherokee people in two of Barbados Plantation. You know what I'm saying? The plantation that they call Church Plantation, two of them plantation there. Slaves in Barbados fly away. Yeah, Cherokee slaves, that happened. Yeah, man, that happened in the 18th century. Two of the plantation owner, right? They tell you the slaves and them fly in the air, and one go over the plantation in what you call Church Hill Plantation and whistle out from in the air and whistle the other brethren and them in the plantation, brethren. And the brethren them whistle forward. And them man join him when he hear the whistle. Join him up in the sky. Them men make a circle around Barbados and they head for the east, straight home to Africa. These is situations that men fail to talk about. But Rastafari will have to talk about them because we know about them. The life we live teach us about these things. Aye.
So you see, with the situation with see the Gufunas being placed in this island,
Yeah.
and then swimming to taking the boats to go to the other islands that they came across, like Honduras.
Yeah. They were taken by the British across to those islands. Because the British had already known their genealogy, you know. They know their genes. They ain't gonna carry you in a place where you're a strange person. They carry you in a place where them know, say, the Maya people and them used to speak what language they used to speak. Is Amharic. All the scrolls is written in Amharic. Yeah. The book called The Insights will tell you that that the Maya people and the scrolls that they pick up about these people was written in Amharic. And Amharic is original a lingua from Africa, from the Ethiopian origin people. So it's coming out of the original tongue and the original language. You see? These people was called the Almec as well. And they dominated the whole of South America and the southern side of America. It is the Spanish conquest and the south of America that forced them out. So most of the people that you cite in Argentina is Spanish. Most of the people that you cite in Cuba is Spanish. Jamaica was Spanish before the English get it. So the Spanish is conquering all the greater Antilles and them. And the Spanish was no joker, genocide man, you know. He was raiding all the food. He was changing the culture of the people in them, you know. You have to know Spain ain't do no joke wickedness to South America, you know. And all the architecture, you know, they give them and give them over to Spanish Indians that them has control. You understand? Right down to Mexico, brethren. You know, the whole entire basin. Notice most of the people of black origin going to be on the basin, on the edge of South America there now. Belize, Honduras, go wrong and call them Panama, Colombia, all of them. These were people that were forced in, you know, and forced them people onto the edge. And they took their canoes and seek other refuge. That's how they reached them other lands here. And they brought the culture with them. You know what I mean? They brought the trees and, you know, the fruits and, you know what I mean, other culture with land. Now the British come in and conquer the land and take that and say it's them who bring in them thing there. Oh, it's we own. No, the British couldn't bring them thing. Because when you go into the mountains and you sight some terrain where breadfruit tree and coconut tree and all them tree days, no British couldn't bring that. Them tree far bigger and older in timing and age than when the British come in and talk about they bring liberation and this, that, you know. They came in and bring an indentured stock, brethren, a different stock. They wipe off much of the indigenous, what was left here. They carry them out in the island. We have to say that over and over. We have to know them thing there, you know. You know, we still for no brethren. So when we're talking about these plantocracy, you understand? Is in 1849, you know, we start, our women, 7 women start rebelling against plantocracy in this land here. You see? So them had to bring people to work in the plantation from other areas. Yeah, them had to. And that's how we end up as a people of great diversity. But we have a history of Europe, of Africa, of South America, of India, of Central America, of Asia as well. Our history is entwined with all these people, brethren. You understand? Because when the Olmecan them came here, they had Chinese working with them. And them people they now mix with black people, created the Mexican people. So if you go forward in our genealogy, you're gonna find it in every aspect. You know, don't just take my word for it. Go and test the genealogy, brethren. You understand? So even if you move the people from here like the Garifuna and carry them forward to Honduras and them place there's where their people was. You carry them forward to the original stock because you wanted the genealogy that was here to get lost. You don't want we find that genes. You over because some hierarchies was in that genes. So you want them hierarchies genes now to get lost. So you see why great men sometimes does have more than one wife? It's to preserve the genes and not about a sex starve something. It's about the preservation of your genealogy and the preserving the greatness of the genes from being destroyed and conquered. The fathers was wise enough to have that. So Chatoué was wise enough to have them genes there. You understand? So Chatoué had wives in every family, in every village that was far and far reaching, so you don't even know which one the village is. The genes and them scatter. Because these men had wives in all the runaway villages.
Yeah.
So this is how our genes is kept intact and highly preserved. So I give thanks for this genealogical knowledge, and give thanks for I and I ancestry.
Yeah.
This version of history comes from the eyes of Rastafari.
Yeah.
Because Rastafari is a holistic movement of I and I people. So from where we stand, we are able to view the history from different viewpoints and put it together.
Okay, well, I hope everyone out there has been enlightened by what we've spoken about today, and we've had a lot of good information that's come our way. So I would advise you to put comments in the description and what you thought about the discussion today, and subscribe to the channel and let us know what you would like Philbert to know in terms of your views, and we'll keep this moving. And make sure you check out the previous videos, and make sure you stay tuned for the next videos. So this is us out on another video,
and I would like to say something on the touchline there. Right on the touchline, I would like to give you this version here. The panda cannot tell the story of the lion, nor can the lion tell the story of the panda. It takes a lion to tell the story about a lion.
yeah.
Black people have to stop letting other people tell we about ourselves. Who feels it knows it. So it's only I and I who feel the pain could know the gain.
Yeah.
So give thanks again and again.
Yeah. So to the next one, stay tuned. We're out.
Alright.